has hosted the ACC Wrestling Championship. You have to go back to 1998, the last time it has happened. Always a fun environment inside Cameron Indoor Stadium, one of the iconic venues in all of college sports. As we continue with the consolation quarterfinal round alongside Trent Hidley, Sean Kinney, as David Hussey of Duke, Justin Phillips of Virginia. Phillips firing the opening three here to grab the takedown in the lead.
Yeah, I really like the way that Phillips set the tone in this match. You know, sometimes what we see in matches is guys kind of play out the first minute or two and try to feel it out. Phillips, from the get-go, was getting to his offense, looking for angles, and got to an attack and scored. I like to see that action early on.
I want to remind our audience, if you're looking for the semifinals, that's going to be coming up at the top of the hour, 2 o'clock Eastern. Here from Durham, the semifinal round. Stand up by Hussey. Phillips again trying to stick his left leg in. This is a weight, when you look at it for Duke, they had reliable Connor Becker here a season ago. Hussey, a wrestler who started the year at 174, but he's been wrestling more at 184 over the second half. Made that bump up back on December 22nd, just in time for the BMI duel. Hussey, a Jersey Shore wrestler, strong traditional area for the sport. 4-time state qualifier, was a place winner once in his career, wrestling for Middletown South.
Seems like everybody from New Jersey knows how to wrestle.
They do, don't they? Kind of like PA, kind of like Iowa. There's just some hotbeds that wrestling is king. Just how we like it.
Also doing a pretty good job of bottom here, staying out of the turn. Now Phillips gets his weight back. Wants to stay up here. Yeah, now Phillips does a good job of squaring up and getting back to his position. Oftentimes when guys have legs in there, if you can sit them to the side and start getting your hips out and peel their feet away, you start to get some separation. But as soon as they start to pull you back down, you get flattened out. It's a really hard puzzle to figure out.
Phillips continuing to ride here in this first period. You know, we were talking about the different geographical locations, different hotbeds for wrestling. I think it's about time that Raleigh hosts an NCAA championship. With the growth of the sport we're seeing from this quadrant of the country, obviously beautiful facility in Raleigh, the arena capable of holding it. I just think it's coming.
Yeah, I think the only downside I've heard is a lack of hotels or restaurants near around the arena. But you're right, it'd be perfect. And you know, we need to stop having a tournament in really cold areas. As an athlete, you love going to a new spot, and maybe some warm weather in February and March isn't such a bad thing.
You hear Las Vegas being thrown out quite a bit, speaking of warm weather.
Yeah, Las Vegas is a pretty popular destination for wrestling. They always have the U.S. Open there, and you know, I think I've heard that they're trying to maybe get the World Championships there leading up to L.A. 2028. We'll see if they get that bid approved, but definitely want to try to get in maybe some new areas to create just a different feel for the sport and some of these championship opportunities.
Yeah, they have a lot of international wrestling. Is it the Orleans Arena, I believe? We've called some matches in through the years. So
yep.
A lot of great setup down there in Vegas. Action here, good action back and forth. Hussey gets the 2, and now the period comes to an end. So David Hussey, after pretty much getting ridden that entire first period, you wrestled a full 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, Phillips did a pretty good job. It looked like he was in control the whole period and was dominating, but Hussey was able to create an opportunity for himself and get a reversal, and all of a sudden, you know, you're only down 1 point. Yeah, Phillips has a lot of riding time, but you're only down 1 going into the second period. You give yourself a chance to get some momentum there going into the second.
Let's see if Hussey can take some of the starch out of Phillips after the other way around in that first period. Nope, not able to do it. Phillips is away, so 4-2. Phillips, a veteran, 6th year, spent his first 4 years on the grounds at Virginia, made the decision to transfer last year out to Cal Baptist. And now for his final season, he came back home, grew up in Lynchburg, Virginia. Phillips able to clear the head and get the 3, and another takedown for Justin Phillips.
Yeah, he went back to that high C. He set it up by going double underhooks, and then when the Hussey went to clear out, he got his inside tie, opened up his high C really well.
Phillips swallows up the waist. He'll keep adding to his riding time, over 2 minutes. Halfway through this second period, 7-2 at 184 pounds, and it's going to be tight to get one of those tickets to Philadelphia. 3 automatic qualifiers from today's competition. Phillips get hit with a stall call up top. Let's go back to the high C.
Yeah, at first we saw that. I said he punched underhooks, had an underhook, and when Hussey pulled out, that's a great setup to pull yourself into a high C. Back to the stall call. We saw that a couple of times. I like how they've been consistent with the top stall call. If the guy on top is just kind of riding the hips and not working a turn, the referees have been penalizing him with a stall call, and we've seen that a couple of times throughout today. So as a wrestler, and that's important, and that's why, kind of being a student of the sport is important. If I'm watching these matches and I say, okay, the refs hitting these guys for stalling when they're just riding, I know whenever I go out and wrestle, I have to do a better job of showing the ref that I'm not just riding the hips. Whether that's, using different breakdowns, or maybe it's just acting the part, right? I want to make it look like I'm working really hard on top. Even if I'm not trying to score, I need to prove to that guy that I'm not just trying to waste time. And that's where I think, you see some of these elite guys, they start to make that adjustments throughout a tournament, whether they wrestle a first match or they're watching. Next time they come out in the mat, they know how the referee is going to call the matches. That is really important in these matches.
Yeah, certain referees, it's human nature, have certain tendencies. I would think maybe the parallel will be baseball. Some umpires have a big strike zone, some have a small. So as a wrestler, what you're describing, what certain referees are looking for.
For sure. And it also goes with stalling on the edge. I know that's really a controversial thing. Is it stalling? Is it action? Who should be hit for stalling? You have to know, as the offensive wrestler, you've got to sell it, right? If I'm taking the guy out of bounds, I have to sell the stall call. I can't just push him out. I can't shoot and get an action call. I have to make it look like I'm working really hard. Maybe I stab at the leg. I want the optics to look really bad on the other guy so that the referee has no other option but to call stalling.
Phillips back in on that high C. Good job there, though, by Hussey rolling through. Phillips trying to reposition, elevate that head and leg. Hussey trying to hang on to that far ankle as he drapes over the back of Phillips. Phillips again repositions, everything on the edge. Now high man wins here if Hussey can get up. Clears out the ankle. We get a stalemate. The two twisted up with 58 seconds to go.
Yeah, stalemate, not a bad thing there for Phillips. You're up by 3 with riding time locked. 1 minute in the match, that Hussey has to come to you, and you felt him create that scramble a little bit. You may be a little bit more reserved to take that shot again towards the end of the period.
Phillips has riding time locked rather soundly, over 3 minutes of riding time, in fact. So Hussey's going to need more than a takedown. Collar tie there from Hussey. Might have heard that one at home as he rocketed the back of the neck of Phillips. Does not detour, though, this veteran for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, if you're Phillips, you really want to focus on head position here. Get your head in the way. That's your first point of defense when a guy's taking a shot. Block with your head. Then if he gets past your head, you can get to your down block. He's doing a good job of staying in the center. Got Hussey to take a bad shot. Now he can waste the rest of the time in this chest lock position.
Really never felt in that match Justin Phillips was threatened. He was able to get his offense early and seemed like he had control throughout the entire 7 minutes. He'll get that riding time point, and the 8-4 win for Justin Phillips, the 6th year back at the grounds for UVA, and your winner in the consolation quarters. That's going to do it for this consolation round. When we come back at the top of the hour, we're back on the championship side of the bracket. The semifinals coming up from Durham as our